Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Sunday Town Hall, Columbia, Georgia. How's everybody doing today? My name is D Macuno. Hopefully, you can all hear me. I'm Wesley. And this is the show. We're going to keep it pretty short because we're in Columbia filming live, and we are not done turning up. I've been so happy out the U.S. All my stress, I am not stressed anymore. I've been eating healthy food, been meeting healthy women.
Hey, it's been kind of crazy though. I thank you. I appreciate you, brother.
Gotcha.
Hey, it's been real crazy over in the U.S. though. So I've been watching a lot that's been going on. I haven't had an opportunity to dig in to a lot of things, but I have seen that, they turn back the tariffs again.
Yeah, on the cell phones.
I mean, then they went back. He said something like, "Yeah, we're gonna, basically separate phones. Any kind of semiconductors, all that kind of stuff. He kind of separating that out. He's excluding those things from the tariffs." Then they came back and said later in 90 days they're going to put tariffs back on the semiconductors, which is going to there was a tech rally, I guess, on Friday. The market went about like 600 points. It brought us over 40,000, back over 40,000. And now everyone's thinking that on Monday that's going to drop it because now it's uncertainty. He leaves the market, he leaves the world with so much uncertainty. But this is a bigger point I wanted to even make really quickly, man. We really sit back and we watch what's happening. All the people who are really big into the millionaire class, not the billionaire class, even the hedge fund guys, all the people who went for Trump, the Bill Ackmans, all these people who went for Trump. What is that?
Oh yeah, hold on.
All these people who went for Trump from the beginning, right? They were feeding you guys a story that this was going to be a great president for for the economy. Oh, he's the guy who will make sure that the America's first again. All this other stuff. He's telling them that he's going to do tariffs this entire time. He didn't lie about it. He didn't like he made it up and then all of a sudden he started doing it when he got here. He's been saying this the entire time. So they knew that these policies were bad for the economy, but they still stumped for this dude who they understood controlled a certain section of America. And that section of America are the people who are not informed, ill-informed. And they don't want to believe it, but you are.
Well, the whole thing is everybody that donated to his campaign is exempt from whatever he's doing. That's why they did that with the cell phones and stuff, because the person that donated millions to him was like, look, you're messing up my business. So he's like, oh, okay, well, we're not to the cell phones. Everyone else can get stepped on.
I mean, he did the same thing with Elon Musk. I mean, he's helped him out. It's just, to me, when you look at this type of a thing, man, when you're really paying attention to what's happening, if you don't see, if you don't understand that this was intentional. This whole action was intentional. Everyone knew that this is what would happen if his policies were implemented, and they allowed it to happen because they understood that they're going to be the ones in control. They're going to be ones taking power. He didn't care when he saw that your 401ks and your retirement funds and all these things were tanking. He didn't care when he heard your job might have to pay tariffs that they can't afford, and they sort of bring in goods to keep you employed. He didn't care about that. But when the billionaires lost their money, that's when he came back and wanted to, let me go ahead and pull off, because before it was fine to say you're going to go through a little bit of pain. It was good for you. It was okay, but not for them. Not even for a couple weeks. They couldn't do it, but you're supposed to endure it for years to make America great again.
And they were saying that even if they bring the jobs back, they're not going to build these factories in a year, in 2 years. It's going to take like 20 years. You know what I'm saying? And by then they'll have robots in there. I mean, a lot of people don't want to see. It's hard to see past a week of what's going on in your life. But I mean, I do not like the uncertainty. I mean, it's enjoyable because, we're keeping everybody informed about it, but it's just, it's a lot of chaos. And then they passed I think it was the House, passed the Real ID law. Did you see that?
No.
Where now, you have to have a real ID. You have to show a birth certificate. You'd have a passport, all these things to be able to vote. And so basically what it's going to do is, it's going to disenfranchise about 70 million women that are married. Which, I mean, that's kind of what they want. Women weren't allowed to vote back a long time ago.
But passing the House is one thing. I mean, that's a big thing, right? Not to pass the House. It's just a up or down vote, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna have to take that to the Senate and have the Senate where the supermajority vote on that, which they don't have, and they're not going to pass it because there's going to be senators who are Republicans who are not going to vote for that either. It's not going to happen. It's probably going to need about 66 votes to pass. They got 53. But I think even then they're going to have a few of their people, the women in their caucus, are probably going to say, "Yeah, we're not voting for this," especially not with that 70 million women being excluded.
No, some of those women don't care about other women.
Yeah, some of them. I'll give it that.
They still let the stuff pass where when they took away Roe versus Wade.
That was different though, because that's Supreme Court. Yeah. That wasn't something that the House or the Senate voted on. The Supreme Court had all say on that.
There was a woman recently, actually. I'm going to look at the story and I'm going to cover it when we do the regular show. But basically, what happened to her? She had an abortion. Oh no, she had a miscarriage, and she didn't tell them quick enough, and so they charged her with murder.
Yep. This was recent. This is a recent one. Remember, we did a show on one before that this happened. This is a recent one. Yeah.
I was just like, damn. You know what I'm saying? So I can see them taking more stuff away from women.
Charged her with murder, man.
Yeah.
Over a miscarriage.
Because she didn't tell them in time.
It's crazy, bro.
What happened? Oh, you want?
Come on. Yeah. I mean, that's to me. That's a. I mean, I don't want to use that kind of language, but it's crazy that we sat back and we really are sitting here pretending like this is normal where we're at right now in America. This is a normal thing. This is okay. We have the audacity to speak on other countries' ills. We're going through those same type of things within ourselves. Pay attention to what's going on. I had people just tell me just now, pretty much say to me like, hey, you guys are starting to lose your freedom of speech. You know what I mean? You guys are losing it because it's a fact. You look at when they're taking people who are in colleges. I don't care if you got just a visa or not. When you're an American citizen, you're not even a citizen. When we're in America, you have a freedom of speech. It's implicit, freedom that we all share, that we all have. And so when you look at it, I'm gonna scooting over a little bit for Kilo to get in here, y'all. But when you look at it, if we don't like take advantage of that freedom, like if we don't defend the freedom for other people who are not from our country, then it's gonna be taken from us again soon, one day. You know what I mean? It's gonna happen. So anywhere it go, we have to defend those freedoms for everybody, because less for one is less freedoms for all. Once we get to the point where we're willing to say, you know what, yeah, he's right, they shouldn't be able to say this, then you're not gonna be able to say it next. They're gonna take it from you. So that's how we have to look at this. This is how I'm gonna look at everything. I'm gonna defend freedoms for all because I know that at the end of the day, they're gonna come for me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so that's how I see it. I'm watching our country get dismantled, economically, morally, from the top down right now. It's the oligarchy class. That's a horrible word to use, but it's true.
Yeah, people just saying, people don't understand that. Like, yeah, you should be able to come in. I was against it at first, but you're supposed to have freedom of speech anywhere in America, no matter who you are, where you're from. If you can throw people out for that, I mean, he's even talking about trying to deport U.S. citizens now.
And people are saying, yeah, I watch them say that they agree with this. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, it's not even, to me, it's the ones of us who look at him as he's more than what he is. Every business person who's in history, you got Charlie Munger. It was like, yeah, I would not vote for Trump because he's not a good businessman. All of them say this about him. They've all said it over and over again. That's why to me, it just speaks volumes when they all went for him and they all pretended like his economic plan, which was tariffs, was a good idea when they knew it would tank the economy, just so they could take power. To seize power is more important to them than anything else. They'll lie to you. They'll do whatever they can, but you'll keep believing them and keep pumping your fist in the air because you think you got them on your team when you don't.
Well, you saw what happened. Like the market crashed, right? And then he was like, it's a good time to buy. And then, he did something. He turned off some tariffs and the market goes back up. He's pointing at people in his office. He's like, yeah, that guy just made about $35 billion. He made $5 billion over there. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she knew it was coming, so she bought some stocks. I mean, it's what they're doing. They're just robbing you all, and you're okay with it because you think it's hurting everyone else. But you're part of the pain, which is fine. You're gonna pay for your stupidity pretty soon because everyone else is feeling the squeeze. I mean, even right now, we're not even gonna do the show that long today because we're in this beautiful country, and I'm about to go do beautiful things. I'm just waiting for this 30-minute mark. That's all y'all getting out of me today.
This is great. This is what are we talking like this in public, man? Are we gonna do this show? Let's just do the show, right? This guy's crazy.
Hey, man, I'm just saying I ain't had to stress about America in 3 days.
I know it's tough.
It's different, bro.
It is.
It's different. It's like the chaos that we're living in currently, not knowing certainties. I'm saying, is my gas gonna be $10 tomorrow? Is my groceries gonna be a lot?
People voted for this, man.
Hey, Steve. Hey, man. Don't threaten me with a good time. All right.
Hey, the eggs at the price of $10 for a dozen and $12 for a dozen, and more and more and more. It's just kind of the reality that we're facing.
Yeah, you can go to another country. We just at the grocery store down here, and we saw what they're going through. It's not expensive for them down here. I mean, it's just not. It's not to say that one place is better than the other place. I'm just watching our place decay. Yeah. That's the worst part about it. We got a front row seat to the worst administration. I mean, none of us can say anything different right now.
And I'm not saying it's paradise down here either, because I'm out at midnight and I'm seeing. Hold on. I'm out at midnight and I'm seeing some things like, I'm seeing a little kid holding a little baby in the middle of the street. You know what I'm saying? While everybody's walking around having a good time and shit. So, but like America's not that far off from it. But it's a lot going on. It's a lot. It's sad that we can't come together as a country anymore because we're so divided. And then the topics that we do want to get on, like, I want to talk about it. The Jeffrey Epstein files, they haven't released them. Think about it. He didn't release them. Fucking Biden didn't release them, and they had all this information. It's like, who are they protecting? You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, like, who are they really protecting? That shit must go deep as hell.
And so, we're never going to, I don't think we're ever going to get an answer for that right there. I think that's just one of those things, man. That's just, until people start passing away or whatever the case may be, we're not going to get an answer out of that.
I think it's worse than that. Think about it. Like, they brought it out the White House and they had the people with the binders throwing it around like, oh, look, we have it here. Da, 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 da. I'm like, what? Is it a joke? Is child rape a joke these days? Is that something that that's the one thing that we act like we're all against here in America. But when it comes down to it, are we really against it? Because common people like us were against the shit, right?
Yeah.
But the people that run our country are kind of with the shit. They're okay with it. They'll catch people left and right, picking up little kids on the streets. But when they go to their little private parties and they're fucking 10-year-olds, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a real discussion. Like, everyone's kind of scared to have.
I think we've had it. I'm not saying we shouldn't have it again. I think we've had it. We've talked about it. You know what I mean? Like, we pushed it. We're just not going to get answers for this. It's not going to happen, man. I think
it goes too deep.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
but
you killed him in jail, man. And the footage is gone. Come on, man.
Killed him in jail.
Let's be
and
real.
Then you sent an assassin to kill the judge's family. First, the assassin was going there to kill her. She wasn't there and it killed the family.
Let's just be honest. He was killed in jail. No one know, man.
Then when they did his bottom bitch's fucking court case, they erased every time someone would make a page about it to keep up with the trial and let people be informed. They erased it, all the pages.
The names are the list is long. The names are on there. I don't think. Who was in office right then, though, Steve? Who was in office when he got killed in jail? Yeah. So we can't sit back and I'm not blaming. I'm blaming. Trump was more of a thing. I think Trump was more of a friend to him than even probably Bill Clinton was. Epstein said it out of his own mouth. It's one of my best friends. There's a lot that's going on between him. You remember the time he was on Fox News and he spoke about it and they had to cut the clip, edit it because he said they asked him, "Hey, what about the JFK files?" Yep, I'll release them. Martin Luther King, whatever. Yep, I'll release them. Epstein. But I want to make sure he went into a whole spiel. You remember that? I know you do. You know what I mean? So let's not act like he wasn't calling. He's not on call logs with him 90 something times, calling him at 2 a.m. talking about I need a massage. You know what I mean? Like,
but all that he
didn't run a massage parlor, I don't think, did he?
All that is
not that I know of.
Nah, all that's like, public record. And it just shows you. For me seeing that, I'm like, that's disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Like, exactly what's going on there. But the general public's just like cool with it. Yeah, now see, Hollywood is a crazy place. I remember I was talking about this the other day. One of the Coreys came out. He started naming names. Terry Crew named the name. You know what I'm saying? And they've done nothing to these people. You know what I'm saying? They're out there doing all kind of crazy stuff in Hollywood. They know who they are, but people are scared to say anything because, of who they are and how they can crush their lives. And how should you be scared of a rapist and a pedophile? You know what I'm saying? Why do they have so much power in America, in our country?
Around the world, man. I think it's just around. I don't think it's just us. And I'm not just trying to downplay the severity of what we're going through. This is a global thing. We go back into what we talked about before when we talked about the guy from the CEO of something to Finch, Abercrombie and Finch. Yeah, we talked about him, how he got a bail when he has ran an international prostitution ring. It wasn't even prostitution ring. They were sex trafficking. They was raping and you know what I mean? All over then like 3 different continents. And this dude got a bail of $10 million to get out of jail, even though he did all these things he did.
It is. It is. And so, Steve, it is sad how much power they have to influence the politics. And they're like, look, I need you to turn a blind eye while I take this 9-year-old behind this building.
Yeah, but it's sickening, man. When you really get to thinking about it. But like I said, we're not gonna figure that out. It's not gonna be something that we can do because obviously, even the guy who came out parading around that he was gonna do it, he's not willing to do it. at all.
Yeah.
So I mean, we won't be figuring that out anytime soon. But let me just I don't want to get off the subject of the just because this right here is like a pivotal time. I would like to know, Steve, like, what do you feel about how do you feel his economic policies have been going so far? How do you feel they've been going? Like, if you want to come tap in with us, you can. I know we're only going to be in here for a minute, but I would really like to hear that because you voted for him.
No. You gotta let Steve tap in. I don't want him to have to text all that.
I know me either, but
no,
I would love to have him in too. I think we can send him a
Yeah. You know his email?
Yeah, it's not on yours.
No. It's a mix. Yeah.
A mix of what? L's? I don't know. You gotta look at that one right there. You gotta take that mix of L's, Steve. I'm not seeing any good, there's no good reviews we got right. Put S in there. Let's see. I don't know which one it is.
It's the same one.
They're not. They're both different. Hey, is it Steven or Steve? Go back to him. Because I'm not, like I said, I'm not seeing a good mix of anything right now. He hasn't gotten one thing passed at all. You know what I mean? So I'm just not seeing where we can even have a debate about. But I would like to hear what you have to say, and because you know what I'm going to do once you start saying it, because I really would like to hear this one. We just lost trillions off the stock market. No, everyone said, well, no, people care about the stock market. A lot of people care about the stock market. They got money. I know people just regular people who lost $15,000, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 out of their portfolio. You know what I mean? I know you're not using it right now, but yeah, you can leverage your portfolio. There's a lot of things you can do with that.
Well, that's the stock market though. It's always up. It's always down. Like it's going to go back up. So you're supposed to just sit on the stuff, correct?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, when that's happening, that's money being stolen out of the market. When they can drop, go ahead.
Imagine the people who got the 401ks and the Roth 401ks. You know what I mean? Yeah. So this is a retirement plan that you're not supposed to tap in until you're retired, 65 and a half or whatever, or 62 and a half, excuse me. And so those people who've been accumulating money for the past 40 years, you know what I'm saying? Since they were 20 to 60, right? Imagine how much they lost. You know what I'm saying?
And they won't get it back.
It's not even so much as that. Like a lot of times, people it's a theft. It's more of a theft. Okay, say it may not. The market may not ever recover back to where it was. Yeah. I'm not saying never in life. It will get there eventually. But people right now need that money. They're living off that money right now. That's like when you have that. That's like you're able to siphon from that as part of your retirement plan. So you have
the rest of your life.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Say you have you got that. You have maybe some rental properties. You have whatever else. And you have one number that you're making every month. That this is what you get every month. For the rest of your life. To live off of, pretty much. The number may go up or down with the market, but this is what it is. How you doing today, Steve? Can you hear us?
Hello? I'm well. How about yourself?
Oh man, we're doing real nice out here. I can't say too much. We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Can you hear us okay?
No, I don't think so. But yeah,
okay, cool.
Okay, there you go.
I can, yeah.
Nice.
So let's I know it's just gonna feel like we're all just piling. I don't know about everyone, but you got to let me know what you really think about what's happening here. I like to know like the good and the bad. You said a mix. Where's the mix at here?
Oh no, you guys no. So I don't know. Hold on. I think I lost you guys again.
We're still here, Steve.
Yeah, we
got you.
You got me? Okay. All right.
Yeah, we got you.
So economically, I'm going to tell you, it is a mixed bag right now. And I'll tell you why, because there was a report out about inflation going down, prices going down, jobs going up. The last job report was 100K over estimate. So, you are right. There is a scare because of the tariffs. You're 100% right about that. Did he do it the right way? No. He should have had targeted tariffs and not across the board tariffs, period. You had mentioned targeting cell phones, electronics, right? So they're coming back off of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the thing is, and again, I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face. Tariffs are a long-term solution, period. End of story. You can't throw a tariff out there and expect it to do what you need to do in 2-3 weeks, a month. It is a long game. It's no different than what the stock market is. The stock market's a long game. Mm-hmm. You're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have great days, and you're going to go up 150 points. You're going to go down 150 points the next day. it's so volatile.
It is.
But again, you got to remember economics takes time. It's not something that you're going to do overnight. You're not going to fix what was broken over the previous 4 years.
Do you feel like, I mean, I know you said the way he's going, but that's the way you go about fixing anything. And we all know that tariffs have not worked probably since 1920.
No, that's not true.
Not effective. I mean, I would say with China, we have the short tariffs with China, but massive tariffs of this nature, that led to the economic.
The last Trump administration, when they put tariffs on China, we made money. Period. End of story. There is no. Go ahead.
I think China. I think what's going on with him in China right now is we're probably going to be in war with China before the year's out.
Come on. You guys are such doomsayers. It's ridiculous.
I think it's going to happen. Like,
I don't see it. I don't think China see war with China.
I don't think China.
I don't think China wants to back down from anything. They didn't like what he did to them last time, and this time they're just like, do what you got to do.
I don't see it.
You got to say.
You got to remember, China's.
You got to say what?
D-Max a doomsayer. I didn't say that.
Yeah,
I didn't say that either.
China's economy is big, but it ain't us. Okay, they are not the United States of America. Period. They sell cheap ass goods to cheap ass
to the
people.
World.
Period.
To the world. To the world.
Hell yeah.
So the thing is, what do they have? They can't pay their people anything. They're basically, they're paying pennies on the dollar compared to what we pay here.
Because they have a massive amount of people. They have a massive amount of people, so it's a little bit different for them. But I do think that we underestimate them a lot. I do it myself sometimes. Seriously, I do. I sit back and I downplay what they're doing.
I'm amazed at how much money these people can make over there.
They're doing it, and I think that they have a much like we don't realize the grasp that they have on the world. 20 years ago, we were pretty much there's like a little graph I was looking at. We were pretty much 20 years ago. Most of the world bought their things from us. Most of the world. And now it's from China. Mostly everyone in South America used to buy their thing 20 years ago that we were their primary trading partner. Now it's China. That's why we had to forcibly go take back the Panama Canal, because we're not doing our due diligence. We're looking at people as that
was Jimmy Carter's fault. That was Jimmy Carter's fault. He signed that stupid ass treaty.
Honestly, we should have given it to him anyways. It makes sense for us. I mean, we should have kept a good relationship. The fact that we didn't have a good relationship with Panama. We kind of let things kind of slip away from us. That's what we did. We kind of
when you signed the treaty, on the wrong thing. We gave it away in 2000. Period, without a say so, because that was the treaty we signed with them back in 1979. And that honestly, was the mistake that Jimmy Carter made. That's not the mistake of the last. Couple. No
one's saying that. I'm not against the fact of the Panama Canal going back to Panama. I'm not against that.
I am.
I'm not at all. I'm just like
how much money. You know how much money you have to spend to get through that damn thing.
Look at what happened with the Aramco in Saudi Arabia. You remember, like we built Saudi Arabia's. We built Saudi Arabia. Go ahead.
On either end of that damn thing.
Yeah, because we allowed them to kind of sneak in and get in there because we took our eye off the ball. I'm not here to bully people around the world because it's not going to work forever for us. That's a bad idea. I'm here to make deals with people. We should be having our backyard should not be able to be invaded by anyone when it comes to any kind of economic treaties or any kind of China's come over here and made deals with people, and that's why they're in our backyards, not because of they've come over here and had to bully anybody. That's what we can't live off bully tactics.
Look at the land that they bought for the farmland.
Yeah,
and everything.
That's a great point. We've allowed, as a country, to let China buy land. Okay,
they bought them up.
Wait. But what is it called? What is it called? That's called capitalism. Anytime anyone else says anything else, what do you call it? Socialism. Oh, you're a socialist. You're this. It's called capitalism when anyone can come over here and put their money into our country. That's what it's called. We all sit back, we brag about it when we think it's working. But as soon as China buys some property, it's a negative. You get what I'm saying though? So we got to have it, but it can't cut just one way. It has to cut both ways. When it comes to that, you get what I'm saying? Like,
you think they're going to allow us to buy land over in China?
No, they don't. And I agree with what you're saying, but we cannot pretend like capitalism is working because it's not fully the way it's supposed to. We have to kind of critique it a little bit at this point in time. That's all I'm saying. So I agree with what you're saying. We do need to stop them from doing this, but it's the capitalist. It's free market capitalism. That's what they love to say, right? Yeah. You remember, Larry Kudlow. Free market capitalism is the best way, best way to prosperity. He comes out, says it all the time, but it's not working the same way. That's why our free market capitalism has led to billionaires being able to buy our elections with money from foreign countries. This is what's going on now. This is what free market capitalism has brought us. I'm not saying we just need to lock it down a little bit better than where we are. I believe in capitalism. I don't want socialism in our country. I do think we need to do certain things to better our country. Like look at China. They said all their kids 6 years old, by the time you're 6, you have to learn AI. We're not doing, we're fighting about even having an education department. We don't even want to fund education in this place. But they're going to be 10. Look how far they're going to get.
We fund it, but the school unions are the ones ruining education here in this country.
Why do you say that?
Do you not know what they did during COVID?
Are you talking about locking down the school?
Yes, that was the education union coming down and saying we're not going to open these schools back up. And guess where we're at because of that? Our students are failing because of that.
No, you're blaming
everyone lost. Education. I mean, we all have a little PTSD from COVID, and at the time, like I said before, it's easy for us to look back and be like, this mistake was made. But at the time, this is what had to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because COVID, if we let the kids stay in school, it would have spread all.
We thought that for a moment in time, if we breathe the air,
but the thing is, you didn't know anything about COVID when it came out.
So we're all
automatically. So you can't say that for a fact. You can't say that putting those kids in school was going to cause a problem. And now we know it wasn't a problem.
But we didn't know that, though. If you don't know, and then you hear about some mysterious virus being leaked out of China that we don't know, but we know that it's killing people who are 80 years old or better,
and even young men, too,
and young healthy people as well. Think about it. At the time, we didn't know it was just people with pre-existing conditions and stuff like that, because you saw it hit that old people's home, kill like 8 people. We're like, whoa, what's going on?
It's an unknown airborne virus.
If you're a teacher, what are you going to do? Am I going to go to class? I'm a teacher.
Have you heard of the report about the athletes that were over in Wuhan prior to it breaking out? That they were getting sick over there already and coming back.
A lot of people were saying, hey, they thought they had COVID in like November.
Late 2019.
Yeah.
They think that it hit.
It was already here.
Oh no, it was well before that. It was middle of 2019.
Yeah.
There was a competition over there where American athletes were over there in Wuhan and showing signs of being sick already.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I truly believe it. I believe it. Just we didn't know. So I'm not going to blame a teacher, because if I'm a teacher, I'm not going to class. If I hear about most teachers are like, we looked this up last time. I think we were talking. They're about 42 to 45 years old. Most teachers are around that age. So there's a significant portion of them who are probably older. And you know how it goes. Are you going to go to class? Man, most teachers are not like probably the most fit people in the world either. So that's going to add to more pre-existing conditions. You know what they're sitting down a lot.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
So and we're Americans at the same time. Put that on top of it. Well, first, we're Americans. Then on top, you have a job where you're kind of sitting more often. They're not gym teachers, most of them. So they probably have pre-existing conditions that they have going on. They're getting sick probably 10 times a year, going to class, dealing with these kids. We all know that the kids. That's like the
kids are nasty. And the parents send their kids to school sick all the time because
parents. They're petri dishes.
That's what I'm saying. So it made sense to close the school, because think about it, when they closed the school, no one caught the flu that year. You know what I'm saying? If you saw it this year at the beginning or last year, during the holiday season, some school districts had to shut down because so many kids were sick. You know what I'm saying? It spreads. I mean, that's how I tell everybody. As working with kids for so long, the sickness flows through the children. My kids got sick 2 different times each, and I got sick 4 times in the last 5 months, because they're just catching whatever is going around, and because they're moving around doing things. And part of that, like you said, it's the parents' fault for sending those kids in there to make everybody else sick.
Let's look at it from this perspective. Is it the parents' fault? Why? See,
but it's not the parents. I mean, the parents, they have to send them to school. Look, so the parents can't take the day off from work because your job's not even caring no more. Your job is like, oh, you had COVID? Oh, yeah, I'll take that one day off and then come to work, put a mask on, whatever.
I don't even get a day off at my job.
Let's not act like these parents can just take the day. We don't have that. Most people only have $1,000 in their bank. We know this. How America's
$100 could break you.
Yeah,
honestly, like these days, like it's bad. Like for me, it's like everything is a balancing act. And so I can only miss so many days of work, even though I show up and kind of leave and come when I go, or how I feel.
No, but that's I think these are the things that I believe in that we should be as Americans, as America, taken better care of. We should have free childcare for parents. That to me, that's mandatory, because at the same time we're having free childcare, those kids should be learning, should be getting educated.
How are you gonna pay for it?
How do we pay for our military industrial complex? How do we pay for so many other things that we find money for?
That's why we're $37 trillion in debt.
I think there's a better way to do a lot more of everything that I have to look at the books before I can say.
Yeah, there is a better way, and that's going through and getting rid of programs we don't need and not funding shit that we don't need anymore. So stuff that's been around on the books forever that we don't need.
What like what?
It's
the same question you just asked me, kind of reverse back to you. You get what I'm saying? Because
you need to bring more funding. Look, you can take the marijuana, you should make marijuana legal. They're sitting on hella tax money from the marijuana. Take that, put it into the education system per states. And especially, they need to bring stuff back to schools. Like, you need to bring back automotive. You know what I'm saying? You need to bring back kids learning how to drive in school.
Can I? Okay, so I'm not a weed smoker.
Literacy.
I'm not a weed smoker, so I don't buy it. But
I don't need this, Steve.
I get it. But the thing is, with taxing marijuana, doesn't that drive up the cost of it, correct?
No, not actually, because there's so much marijuana grown, especially now. It's actually cheaper than it was. Because there's so much out there. Like, I don't know. You guys have legal weed there?
What's that?
You guys have it?
No,
okay.
It's medical. It's medical.
Yeah, so up here we have dispensaries. So you walk in there and they have thousands and thousands of marijuana, and there's so much, like, people sit on it. So it doesn't make it more expensive. They already tax it a little bit already. They already tax it, but the marijuana, it's not federally, it's not legal federally, so they have to sit on their money. They can't even put it in bank.
Right. They can't actually put it into a bank. Right.
Yeah.
Because it's legal. So
they have it somewhere in the woods, and some guy they pay a guy to guard it.
I've always had a question about, if they legalize marijuana throughout the country, they're going to raise money. They're going to make raise taxes on that, which is fine. I get that. But then you run into the issue where I think, and this is just my personal opinion, you're going to run into more black market dealers selling that shit, because people aren't going to want to pay the price for it.
Actually, no, that's the thing. That's the thing that I thought would happen. I was like, but the only way that you can sell legal marijuana is you have to put the drug dealer on the streets out of business, which they have successfully done. Yeah. Because I mean, like, where I'm at, yeah. I mean, I've had people walk up to me trying to sell me weed, but they have to sell you so much for so little. It's cheaper, and it's more convenient, because think about it, you buy some weed off somebody off the street, you don't know what kind of weed that is. You don't know if it's an indica, you don't know if it's a sativa, you don't know what its name is. You go to the weed store and they have categories. They'll tell you, hey, this is the indica, this is infused, this is this. They'll show it so you can look at it. You have more options. Yeah. So I mean, there's people. I mean, when they first opened the weed store, there was people outside trying to sell weed to people. They're like, hey man, I'll give it to you for cheaper. And people are like, no, I'm just gonna go in here.
I got a question for you, Steve. So if I went to the store and bought a 12-pack of Coca-Cola, and I went on the street and I was like, hey Steve, you want to buy one of these cans of Coca-Cola? And the store is right there, and you can go in and buy your own pack. And it might be cheaper. Maybe it might be a little bit cheaper if you buy one individual can from me. Would you as a consumer feel more safe buying from a stranger, or would you rather go into a notable establishment?
I would much rather be able to trust somebody, right?
Yeah.
But what you run into is, if you start jacking the price up and you start taxing it more, because once the federal government gets their hands on those taxes, they're going to want to tax the shit out of that stuff.
Well, then they would just give you more.
Therefore, the prices go up even higher.
Well, I think that could be said for.
They'll give you more. There's so much there's marijuana rotting in warehouses right now because they've grown so much. So they would just probably end up giving you more to account for it. Because like I'm saying,
I don't know.
I guess Steve, one time you're gonna have to come up and but like in Washington, dude, we have weed dispensaries and we have topless coffee stands.
We do.
I mean, it could be said the same thing for alcohol. And they would have done the same exact thing to alcohol as well at that point in time. Alcohol, would have, with the federal government and whoever else getting their hands on that as well, states and whatever, they would have taxed it so high that it could have led to other things as well. So it just doesn't work that way. It actually works in reverse. It actually drove the black market person out of business. They had to find they're trying to find states to where they don't have these laws set up yet, and try to go there, because everyone else it's just too much. And at the same time, it hasn't turned into a problem of addiction for us or anything like that either. It's really should be more helpful to us at this point in time. But that's one way, like you're saying, we can help fund education. There's a lot of different things that we could do in order to get. We just tend not to want to look into the numbers to get the things that are good for us. Well, how do we pay for it? How do we pay for everything else? How do we pay for tax cuts for billionaires? How do we pay for, you know what I mean? We don't, it doesn't make sense. We don't want to add to the success of America, but we care about, we can figure out a way to do anything else. We can figure out a way to fund the war. We figure out a way to fund the war with Afghanistan and Iraq. We figure out a way to, you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense to me. So I think the most important thing are your people. And I think China's paying attention to that. And they're looking at like, okay, these guys want to get rid of their education department. Let me show you what we're going to do. Oh, these guys want to put these tariffs on us. Okay, cool. You know what? I'm not going to go in. I'm not going to go.
Our education department doesn't do anything except give out money. And
shit,
the Treasury can do that.
You think that money? No, the Treasury. I don't feel like the Treasury is adapted to
then
do
give
that.
it to Health and Human Services. Let them deal with it. But the Department of Education doesn't make standards. Period. That's a state level. So what is the Department of Education good for?
I think there's a lot of people in these positions. I think these positions need to be moved around more. You got these people that have been in these positions 15, 20 years, and they don't really care anymore. You know what I'm saying? They want to keep the status quo. So, I mean, once you get fresh blood in there, you know, like people that are actually on the ground with the kids, people that are actually, you know, the teachers, they should be in these.
But that's at the local. That's at the
Department of Education. Actually, the reason why we have such great colleges in this country, because most of the money from the Department of Education goes to colleges. Most of it does.
Great colleges are too damn expensive. We can't.
Exactly. That's what that makes
so
sense.
Okay, but
okay. Like, how you gonna cut college fundings, but you're charging these kids $50,000 to go for?
So we're complaining about the price of college, but then we do not want to make college affordable, not even affordable, accessible to all. We don't want to do that though. We don't want to say,
but that's because those colleges are private colleges and they can charge whatever the hell they want.
Absolutely, but you know what else can happen? If you're giving a school like Brown $400 and something million a year or whatever you're giving them, you have the right to go and say, you know, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make this kind of a deal with you, and you're going to now. How do you think we would do that with private hospitals if we started doing a pretty much a single payer system? How do we think we do that? The same way every other country did it. Okay, this is what we're going to do now. This is the new deal, or else you can just be gone. Period. That's the way it goes. I don't think we'd have to say that to these colleges.
That's a real easy solution to an incredibly tough problem, and it's never going to happen that way.
It's
not going to tell a private institution that they have to go away.
No, you don't have to tell them to go away because they're going to conform, just like they conformed when we came out with Obamacare. They conformed when we came out and we said we want $25 for insulin, whatever the case may be under the Biden administration. They conformed. People will conform. If the money gets cut off, we pay $2 trillion a year in healthcare just out of our budget for the nation. We pay $2 trillion. You think that they're not going to capitulate when you tell them, hey, we're cutting that money off. It's only going to go to these places right here who are conforming to what we're doing. Hey, we're going to a single payer system. This is what we're going to do. Every other country, they've done it.
Let me ask you a question. You're okay with doing that, but cutting off funding for stuff that's useless.
Like what? You have to. If you tell me, I don't know what. I'm not saying there's nothing.
Okay, so all right, so you know damn well there are programs in this country that are
absolutely, but like what though?
Okay,
you can't, a person can't, not you, but a person like just because they come in and say this is useless, we don't need this anymore. Show me. If we ask that, see it. If we are not just American people should know what it is too. We're the ones who are paying for these things. We're the ones who help or should be utilizing these things. So why shouldn't we be able to question what it is? We should know, right? Just so that we understand whether or not it's something that we may need or not. Correct? Because just like with the Veterans Affairs, the more people you cut out of Veterans Affairs, that means the less veterans that can be helped. Because there are already backlogs of veterans who can't be helped. We're already witnessing mass suicides from veterans because
we're already witnessing that. Listen, Wesley, the Veterans Administration has been messed up for 30 years. Okay.
So we think
you can't blame one administration.
I'm not blaming him. This is not being blamed. Are you guys saying that? You know that I just didn't blame him. I said that. How does it help by cutting more people from this? I didn't say this was Trump's fault. I said it doesn't help to cut tens of thousands of workers from something that's already failing. It doesn't help.
But if they're hold on.
The failure may even be
if they're redundant jobs, why do you need them? If you have three people doing the job that one person can do, why wouldn't you get rid of those positions to save money?
But you're making a point that has not been proven. You're making a point. I'm not saying about redundancy. I'm talking about that's even happening.
How many millions?
How do we know that that's even happening?
Wesley? How many?
A lot of them. Does that mean there's
government?
Just because that's Okay, what about
Half of those
Walmart?
probably aren't even worth it.
Okay, we got over 340 million people in this country. Let's do the math about and see what we're doing. You know what I mean? Like where those jobs are and where they're at. A lot of them are probably not even just in this country. They're probably all over the globe working in the federal government. So let's just say, only thing I'm trying to say is this right here. We don't know. I'm not saying there's not, but don't just say, yeah, this is redundancy. This is what this is. And that's just it. No, I can't, where we make points that are very good points. You're making a very good point, but it's not a proven point. The point, and I'm not saying
I'm not the one that has to prove that point. Okay,
I'm not saying you do. I'm not saying that you are, but I'm saying it's not.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Do you have to, if you're a stockholder in a company, are you going to make that CEO come down and tell you, "Hey, we're firing all these people"? No,
they do it all the time. It's called a stockholders meeting. It's called a stockholders. They have them. No, they have a stockholders meetings, and they tell them to fire people. I understand that, but they do have stockholders.
Wesley, what do you think about this?
So who should they tell? I'm not saying it should not has to be. It should not. I've never asked it to be me personally, but they're not telling anybody. And you're good.
I'm not saying you. I'm not saying
I know, but I'm just saying. But they need to tell somebody that though. This is the federal government. We're the voters. Yes, you do have to. There's an obligation to us as a people. There is. It's like if you're a stockholder, they have annual stockholder meetings, right or wrong. You've heard. No, you know about these things.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you
and they come back and they tell you why they
Joe Biden did? Did you trust everything Joe Biden did in his administration?
Absolutely. I don't trust everything anyone does. That just doesn't work that way. I'm an American citizen. I don't care if Joe Biden would have made a bad move. I'm going to speak on that and I'm going to say it. That's the difference between me and like a lot of other Trump voters. Not saying you, because they won't. A lot of times you do.
That's bullshit. I question that all the time.
I just said that. A lot of times you do. And I just said that. I just said that about you. I just said that about you. Did you hear me say that?
How about when Nancy Pelosi said, well, you have to vote on it to see what's in it? Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Right? Wait, you have to vote on it to see what's in it? That's crazy. That's like someone handing you a bag.
To me, there has to be context. I'm not saying you're wrong. I need context. I don't know that. I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was.
That was Obamacare. That was Obamacare.
So there wasn't a bill? There wasn't a bill.
There wasn't a bill, but they said you have to vote on it to see what's in it. Those were her exact words.
They give you the bill before you even vote on that. We all know that. That's everyone, whether the bill's 2 pages or whatever.
They give it to you for an hour. 30,000 pages for an hour, and then they go.
But they did that when the Republicans passed the tax bill. They did.
I don't know if they did it for an hour. I need to see that. I want to say that. I don't know about an hour. I don't know about an hour. I don't know about an hour. Yeah, I don't think they do. I think they give it. I mean, it might have been 30. The biggest thing would have been 30,000 pages, and they said get it done by tomorrow, something like that. But I don't think it's even that. But even 30,000 pages is going to take you a while to go through.
Yes.
I'm not saying they probably didn't push that thing through.
Every administration wants to ram through their agenda. Period.
Absolutely.
So they're going to go about it anyway.
Some people want to get rid of this, get rid of the courts to ram through their agenda. Yeah. I mean, that's a little bit different. Now, right now, they're trying to vote to get rid of the judicial system. The way that it works for America has been going on forever. From what I've always recalled, everyone always talks about the Constitution, how America.
No, they're voting to make district judges stay in their lane. That's what they're voting.
This has been the way America has been run from the beginning of time. This is not anything new, anything different at all. That this is the process that it goes through. Even if you look at the Supreme Court, they just sided with that about the kid who was taken out of the country. They sided with on that because they said, you know what, you weren't supposed to do it to begin with. So there is a process.
Oh no. That's not what they said. This was a specific individual. This is what I know. I said that's what I said. So there's a process, is what I'm saying. I didn't say that. I didn't say this was about everything. I said it was one person.
Yeah, because so there's a process that we go through in order to make things happen. They ruled on that real quickly. I've never seen the Supreme Court rule so quickly. You know, I mean, they've been moving pretty like rapid speed with this guy. You notice that? Yeah, to kind of get his agenda.
Because they have to.
I mean, because he's making executive orders that are some of them are unlawful.
If they don't do it quick enough, he can get rid of them too. They're just another barrier from him, taking all the power over. I mean, he has the right to do it. He can do it. He's like you said before. He's like, I'd like everyone to be on my side and
have the power
to vote on my.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. Yeah, he has all the power.
He's all the power.
Right? No, he does not. He does not. That is not the way our system is set up. That's not true. We know that's not true. But go ahead.
You can say that orders are executive orders.
And the executive order doesn't overrule a bill. You can't, what executive orders can do and what they can't do. They can't. Go ahead.
Okay, so
power overall. Let's stop that, you guys. We don't have a king.
Yes, we have a king now.
How many executive orders do you think Biden signed to overrule what Trump did in his administration?
But those are okay. We understand. Executive order can only overrule an executive order.
What's the federal law on immigration? If you come into this country illegally, it's a civil crime, correct? But it is still a crime, and it's a misdemeanor.
Okay,
but it's still a crime, correct? Okay. All right. Now, when you sign an executive order to say, "Hey, we're gonna take away that remain in Mexico policy and take it away," and then come back 3.5 years later and go, "Oh shit, we screwed up. We got to do that. We got to put it back in." You know why he did that? Political expediency. That's all he did it for.
I agree. And I agree with that. I don't.
Now we're having to live with 11. What? But the estimate is between 11 and 21 million people that came into this country illegally. And now you're upset because we're reporting all these people because they've had criminal records.
Time out. I'm not to say. I think you just see the way you paint things. Sometimes you paint them as it's a rosy picture you paint. I'm telling you, we were debating right now. They would think you was killing me right now. It's because I never said any of those things. I never said I didn't want people in this who came here illegally to be in this country. I never said that. I never said I wanted criminals.
What we were talking about,
I wanted criminals in this country.
We were talking about executive orders. That was the whole point.
I mean,
executive orders can sometimes
he does
go
not
against what bills are out there, what laws are out there, because guess what? Every president tries to take advantage of that.
That's not a law. That was an executive order. You just proved that point by saying he overruled an executive order, which was put in place by another president. That's different. That's not a bill. That's not a law that was passed through Congress or Senate. He cannot go over those things. That's not happening.
But there are executive orders that do go against certain laws. And they do that. And
then they'll take them to court. And then they'll take them to court and go through the court process. But it doesn't. So they'll freeze it. And this is what Trump is doing. This is his whole game plan right now. Is to do this. Is to try and take laws.
That's because he's got a 6 majority in the Supreme Court. Because he knows, he's smart enough to know that once those district judges sit there and say, "We're putting a hold on this," where it's going to go.
That's right up the ladder. I mean, but we all know that's. I mean, is that real? I mean, to me, that's the American way, I guess. At the end of the day, that's the American way. But
I mean, what's the phrase? Elections have consequences.
I have consequences.
Yeah, and this one's had very, very, very ill consequences for the country thus far.
But we knew it was coming.
It's horrible.
Well, for your side of the country, yes.
I think for everybody. So I mean, so this is what I'm gonna say. I mean, I think you guys are happy, but I think your 401k is probably not doing as well as it should be.
Right now. My life hasn't gotten any worse, but as a person, I speak to a lot of different random people all day, and I just hear their stories. You know what I'm saying? I've talked to people who's, this guy who's telling me his wife was a federal employee, and now she has to work till 2:00 in the morning because she was using, she had the government ID, and she wasn't abusing her or anything. They just cut off that funding, so now she has to pay for a lot of stuff out of her pocket and do this. I've talked to a couple people that they've lost their jobs because of what's going on. People. Like it's a lot of different, just weird, different stories from random people.
This guy is the most he's the most was bipolar president we've had in I don't know how long.
I'm starting.
It's horrible.
You know what? At least he's doing his job. Unlike
what is that? Listen, what is his what is his job? What is his job? What is he doing? Is by making chaos in the market? He's done nothing. He's not passed anything. He's not done anything at all. He just created chaos. Even the people who supported him, have. Yeah, I've never seen anybody come in 3 months and do this in my life. No one wants this. No, I guarantee you, 2 more years, the midterms, you guys are going to get it. You see it happening, just like I see it happening. Nobody wants this.
It happened last time too.
He doesn't even know what he's doing. He has no clue. He has no clue. No, it didn't happen last time. He has no clue what he's doing at all. Not even a little bit.
Hey, Steve, I don't want to stop your guys' discussion, but we are going to end the stream. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next time, everybody. Don't forget to check us out.
Where in Colombia are you guys at?
We're in Medellin.
Okay.
Yeah, we're like right down the street from the Pablo Escobar.
Nice.
Yeah, museum.
Hey, don't get in trouble coming back in the country with stuff that you shouldn't have. Just saying.
It'll be gone.
That's crazy.
All right,
It's
thanks
good to
everybody
see you,
for joining us.
Steve.
Yeah, good to see you, Steve. Have a good
Hey, you
one.
guys have a safe trip. Take care.
All right.